How's it going, guys? My name is Alex and welcome to yet another team selection video for Gameweek 6. Let's take a look at my team for Gameweek 5, and this has been a very successful Gameweek, continuing reaping the benefits of my wildcard. Unfortunately, I benched Reinders and the captaincy pick. I was supposed to probably go for Haaland or maybe even Senesi. I decided to go for Semenyo. I felt like maybe Newcastle are tired after the Champions League fixture against Barcelona. They definitely weren't really looking that sharp, but Bournemouth couldn't really capitalize on their chances, and it ended in 0-0 draw. And Semenyo, interestingly enough, picked up some defensive contribution points. That's why he's on 5 points, and my captaincy pick at least delivered. And overall, I would say that a mistake would be to bench Reinders. I wouldn't expect him to deliver in a tough fixture at Emirates, and he ended up being on 9 points. I benched that. That's actually a very bench boostable team as well, but I'm keeping my bench boost for the next game week. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure about next game week, but I'm probably playing triple captain on Gameweek 6, and this is how my team will be looking like. We have Petrovic in goal against Leeds, Dubravka against Man City obviously is benched. In defense I have Senesi, who is of course a defensive contribution monster. Him, Tarkovsky, Anderson, they pretty much started 4 points just because of that additional 2 points from the defensive contributions. I was a little bit kind of cold and lackadaisical towards defensive contribution players, in particular defenders, and I realized I made a mistake, and in my wildcard in Gameweek 4 I kind of fixed that. So now I have Senesi and Virgil, who probably will pick these defensive contribution points. And then Pedro Porro against Wolves at home, I'm at least expecting a cleaner. And then I definitely would have wanted Tarkovsky just because they're playing West Ham. It probably will end up in being some kind of 15-pointer hole just because West Ham concede from corners a lot. So obviously I would have wanted to have him, but there is really no other player that would be I want to bench. And just using a transfer, I would rather keep that transfer and roll it. It would be 2 transfers rolled. And in midfield, I have Kudus, also a Tottenham player against Wolves. Wolves don't really look that well in defense. They conceded 3 to Leeds, so they may as well concede a few to Tottenham. And Kudus is known for providing assists. So this isn't really the best attacker from Tottenham. But Xavi Simons, who was a very popular pick, was just benched in the previous fixture. So it feels like Kudus is nailed. He also takes corners, so I'm really happy to have him in my team. And then I have Semenyo, who can be an easy captaincy shout. He's playing against Leeds away. Leeds kept a clean sheet and held Newcastle to a 0-0 draw, which means that it's going to be not an easy fixture for Bournemouth. I'm just expecting a cleaner, maybe some defensive contribution points from Semenyo at least. And then we have Gakpo against Crystal Palace. I really need some kind of exposure towards Liverpool, so I have Virgil in defense and Gakpo in midfield. I don't feel like Salah is really a good pick, and you notice that many fantasy YouTubers, they just decided to go with Haaland on their wildcard, which is just showing the big shift in fixtures, in form, of course. Haaland alone just garnered so many big chances that it just trumps probably half of the Premier League teams put together. And of course many people were on like me on Rodgers and Watkins, who cannot really deliver, and Watkins even missed a penalty in European fixture. So Gakpo will be my kind of coverage for Salah. He is not returning for me for 2 game weeks, but I'm hoping that maybe a fixture against Crystal Palace in which I'm benching Munoz as a defender. So I mean, if that ends in 0-0 draw, be it. Reinders against Burnley, I really hope he's playing that, because he is playing the Premier League fixtures, he's playing the Champions League. I hope that he is going to be used at least for 60 minutes. Please deliver me some assists or maybe at least a clean sheet. And then Grealish against West Ham. It's a big differential. Many people are on NDA. I didn't go with NDA because he was injured out that particular game week. I know that Grealish is mostly like also assist oriented like Kudus, but I felt like maybe I made a mistake. It would be nice to have NDA or even Dewsbury Hall instead of Grealish, but it's a nice differential. If Grealish holds or decides to take a shot out of sudden, I'm gonna be happy to see that. Other than that, the moment Everton's fixtures turn, I will probably get rid of Grealish for the likes of Bruno Fernandes. Maybe if I have enough of money, I will probably sell someone. Then my other striker it could be Eze as well from Arsenal, because probably next game week I'm gonna be picking some Arsenal players. And then finally in attack I have Haaland, who is triple captained as it stands, just because Pep at press conference said that Haaland is ready. So that means that probably that injury doubt, that niggling injury that was occurred midweek, and he definitely didn't take part in the Carabao Cup. I feel like, or FA Cup for that matter, I feel like Haaland triple captain against Burnley, it can be very, very high scoring fixture for Man City. The problem is that if they are scoring like 2 goals and they're in cruise control, Haaland may be benched like 60th or 70th minute. So this is the only worry. I hope he starts. And I really need to use my triple captain just to get rid of that, because you have true triple captains chips, like the first one in the first half of the season, second one in the second one, and the odds of you getting a double game week before Gameweek 16, they're pretty slim. Premier League is not really rescheduling anything as it stands. And then Joao Pedro against Brighton at home. He is going to be my other striker. And on the bench you have Cucurella, who is, I'm feeling like I need to sell him, just because Chelsea defense is looking shaky. Obviously, I'm not sure about the goalkeeping situation. Sanchez can still play. I don't have Sanchez, I have Petrovic. But if I had Sanchez, I would be worried doubling on Chelsea defense. I think Cucurella can be sold in favor of an Arsenal defender next game week. That's the plan. And then I have Mateta, obviously benched against Liverpool at home, even though he can deliver. But the fact that they couldn't score against Sunderland is just like isn't really instilling much confidence in attackers from Crystal Palace as it stands. And a former attacker from Crystal Palace, Eze, may enter my team alongside with Gyökeres, or maybe a Arsenal defender, which I'm really eyeing to get Timber. I may settle on a template pick like Gabriel, but Timber is really, really exciting in my opinion. He may get these contribution points, he may get an assist, he can score. Gabriel also can score, and he's like, it's just the ceiling of Gabriel. I feel like it's just a little bit risky pick going with Timber, and that's just choose my playing style. I may just flip-flop and just simply captain him depending on the team news that we probably will get prior to deadline. So tomorrow that decision will be made, and if you want to follow, and I post usually my final team like a few minutes before the deadline, you can follow me on Twitter. Wishing you a good game week, hoping to jinx everyone that isn't in my team, and I'll see you next.